Let's spend the next few minutes talking about transformational leadership. I mentioned that charismatic leadership is considered transformational, and we know that transactional leaders that we had discussed earlier motivate their followers in the direction of the established goals, and they clarify those by role and task requirements. But transformational leaders inspire their followers, and they inspire them to transcend their own self-interest for the good of the organization. If we look at the difference between the two, we see that transactional leader offers contingent rewards. So contracts, exchange of rewards for effort, promises rewards for good performance, recognizes accomplishment. They manage by exception, by watches and searches for deviation from rules and standards, and then they take corrective action. They manage by exception, and that's passively. They only intervene if the standards aren't met. And then laissez-faire, they really just abdicate responsibilities. They avoid making any type of decisions. But with transformational leaders, they have idealized influence. They provide vision, a sense of mission. They instill pride. They gain respect, also trust of their employees. They have inspirational motivation because they communicate high expectation. They use symbols to focus their efforts, express important purposes in simple ways. They also provide intellectual stimulation. They promote intelligence, rationality. They also promote careful problem solving. Individualized consideration, they give personal attention, and they treat each individual individually. They coach them and they advise them. If you look at that, you look at the passiveness of transactional leaders, that laissez-faire, the management by exception or contingent, that's kind of passive. But we can look up the scale and you can see that the more effective one are the transformation leadership models, and that people respond better to that. So how transformational leadership works, we know that followers are more encouraged to be innovative and to be creative. Followers also pursue more ambitious goals. They have more personal commitment to them, and that vision engenders commitment from followers and really a greater sense of trust. And that leads us to authentic leadership. This to me is so important. Authentic leaders know who they are, they know what they believe in, what they value, and they act on those values and beliefs openly and candidly. So if we are looking for the best possible leader, it's not enough to be charismatic, it's not enough to be visionary. That leader has to be ethical, and they have to create trust on the part of followers. Because we know that you can be charismatic without being ethical. So we want to make sure that when we look at leadership, that we have all of those abilities that are in there. So when we look at challenges to the leadership construct, the attribution theory of leadership says that leadership is merely an attribution, and an attribution is what people believe and what they make about other individuals. And leaders don't always have the impact on follower outcomes due to organization variables that can neutralize that leader's influence or act as substitutes for leadership. And I will tell you, so much of the organization's success or failure is due to factors outside the influence of leadership. So it may be something that's going on in the organization that will hinder that leader from really reaching their full position. But we know that people also have to have trust in leadership. Trust will encourage people to take risks. Trust facilitates information sharing to where people will actually share information if they trust others. And we know that trust within a group really makes it more effective, and it does enhance productivity. So how do we go out there and create or find these effective leaders? One of the most important things to do is selection. I know I've had you guys do personality tests, emotional intelligence tests, probably more tests than you care to do. But we know that when we do personality tests and when you look at it within a company, that we really have traits that can be associated with leadership. Conscientiousness is one of the very top ones. Open to new experience, Again, extroversion will also tell that to a certain extent. And what you've got to do is really match your leaders to situations that will benefit them and help them. And then again, just training. Just have training out there and train those that are willing to change their behavior. And you have to know, not everyone is willing to change their behavior. But look for those individuals that are. Look for people within your organization that you can earmark as this person is a great or potential leader. And then you can teach implementation skills, and you can teach transformational skills. So you can take raw talent and develop them and bring them along the leadership path. And again, it's like a tool belt that we can use to help our people and having training there that they can pull out and use in leadership situations.